Today's news. Imprisoned journalist Ainullah Fatullayev released from prison. 7 steps to democracy, public charter adopted. Conference on definition of political prisoner notion held in Baku. Worst judges awarded with symbolic prizes. Property rights of citizens violated. New youth organization founded. Ainullah Fatullayev, imprisoned editor-in-chief of Gündelik Azerbaijan and Realni Azerbaijan newspapers, has been pardoned under the pardon decree signed by the Azerbaijani president Ilham Aliyev on May 26th. The decree was immediately executed and Fatullayev was set free. On the 29th of December 2009, 0.223 grams of heroin were reportedly found on Fatullayev in prison number 12, and on the 6th of July 2010, Fatullayev was found guilty under Article 234.1, possession of narcotics, of the Criminal Code. His sentence of 2 years and 6 months in prison began on the same date. His appeal against the decision was rejected. In 2007, Ainullah Fatullayev, editor-in-chief of Realni Azerbaijan and Gündelik Azerbaijan newspapers, was sentenced to 8.5 years in jail for threatening terrorism, amongst other charges. However, on April 22, 2010, the European Court of Human Rights ruled for his immediate release and financial compensation from the Azerbaijani government for 27,800 euros. The Azerbaijani Supreme Court plenum has only partially fulfilled the decision. On May 27th, at the Landmark Business Center, the Azerbaijan Euro Integration Public Committee, Intellectuals Forum, Alumni Network, presented the 7 Steps to Democracy Public Charter. Multiple public unions, representatives of NGOs, intellectuals, and community representatives attended the event. The public charter aims to achieve a public consensus on the necessity of transition from authoritarianism to democracy in Azerbaijan. The document consisted of 7 items: the adoption of the law and status of former presidents and application of this law to former presidents, Ayaz Mutalimova, Abulfaz Elchabi, Haydar Aliyev, and their families, the giving of political amnesty, annulment of all criminal prosecutions launched on the basis of political motives, ensuring repatriation of all political figures who were obliged to leave Azerbaijan, giving economic and financial amnesty, annulment of the shadow economy, and giving legal and economic guarantees for the immunity of legalized specialized property, the formation of the National Confidence Government, which will be accountable before the public and hold political and economic reforms, the conducting of a referendum on the constitutional reform on state management, conducting free and fair parliamentary elections under mixed majoritarian proportional election systems, formation of a multi-party political system and its guarantee to persistence of transition from authoritarianism to democracy in Azerbaijan, implementation of all international obligations undertaken by Azerbaijan and contracts signed by it. The supporters of the Charter assess the current political situation in Azerbaijan as an authoritarian system which violated all fundamental political, social, and economic rights of citizens. We consider that we can transition from authoritarian government to democracy without confrontation. The law on ex-presidents should be adopted to create national union for the society. Political prosecutions and arrests should come to an end. Economic and financial amnesty should be declared, and fundamental freedom should be ensured, said Public Forum President Eldar Namazov. International organizations must develop a universal definition for the term political prisoner, because the application of double standards on this notion is unacceptable. This was the theme today of the conference held in Baku on the need for the adoption of universal political prisoner definition. The conference was organized by a number of pro-government NGOs, Relief Association of Assistance to Development of Civil Society, 21st Century Human Rights Foundation, the Joint Working Group on Adoption of International Human Rights Standards, and the Bulgarian Association for Reintegration of Prisoners. Azerbaijani Presidential Administration, governmental and parliamentary representatives, international experts, deputies of the European Parliament, Council of Europe Parliamentary Assembly, and Euronest, the Eastern Partnership Parliamentary Assembly, attended the conference. PACE honorary member Sako Lasko from Finland welcomed the release of Ainullah Fatullayev. It means that one of the problems of Azerbaijan which cause worries in the international community is solved, said Lasko. Fuad Alaskarov, department head at the presidential administration, emphasized the need for the adoption of political prisoner definition. Lack of its definition causes double standards, and that's why the criteria of political prisoner should be identical in all Council of Europe countries. The criteria should be determined on the basis of the European Court of Human Rights cases. Deputy Justice Minister Togrul Musayev believes that the lack of a united definition of political prisoner leads to a misuse of it by rights defenders. A member of the Azerbaijani delegation to PACE, Elkhan Suleimanov, described the decision of PACE for the appointment of a political rapporteur for Azerbaijan as non-objective. He also supports the adoption of a definition for a political prisoner. The Institute for Peace and Democracy has been monitoring courts and the judiciary system for 15 years and publishes the names of the judges who more than anyone else break the law. They receive conditional prizes in the form of striped mantles symbolizing prisoners. At the presentation of the Media Center on Friday, the NGO's director, Leyla Yunus, said that the last time the names of the offenders were published was on January 16, 2007, and at that time the worst judges were Tofik Pashayev, Azer Orujov, and Mansour Ibayev. Among the 40 worst judges were the 3-point winners Araz Husseinov, Sabil Court, the case of the bloggers, Ilgar Mahmadov, Sumgayit Court, the case of Jabbar Savalan, and Amin Akhundov, Nizami District Court in Ganja, the case of Bakhtiar Hajia. In second place are 2 judges of the Baku Appellate Court, Tofik Samedov, the rights of oil industry workers, and Mir Pasha Husseinov, the case of Enula Fatullayev. In third place are the judges of the Supreme Court, Kahraman Allah Berdiev and Ali Rustamov. They are both condemned for the violation of the rights of disabled and victims of the Karabakh War. According to Leyla Yunus, mantles and congratulations in special envelopes will be sent to the winners. Residents of Neftçalar Avenue 1661 in Baku held a press conference about the violation of their property rights. Human rights defender Alakbar Mahmadov said that although there is no official order about the destruction of houses, citizens' rights to property are severely violated. He said that not only apartments are being dismantled, but also criminal actions occurred as household things are being stolen. It is alleged that State Property Committee Chairman Kermen Hassanov and his brother MP Malik Hassanov are behind the illegal destruction conducted by Azinco Company. Relevant appeals submitted to the General Prosecutor's Office and Ombudsman have yielded no result. According to the rights defender, residents filed a lawsuit in the Sabil District Court. Azinco Company lawyer Mirali Nurilev represented the company in the trial, but the court failed to determine who was responsible for the illegal destruction. The residents were disappointed as the court didn't rule for the suspension of the destruction, though it is apparent that the destruction was illegal. The residents believe that the court's decision will just fulfill an order. Today, the Joint Free Azerbaijan Liberal Movement, a newly founded organization, was unveiled at the IRFS Press Center. Aytan Imanova, the executive director of the organization, said that the organization aims to work with Azerbaijani youth in different spheres, finding and bringing up youth leaders with democratic thinking who would play a main role in the future of the country. According to Imanova, the organization will operate in social, human rights, education, ecology, and security spheres. Imanova also underlined the significant support of Friedrich Naumann Foundation Azerbaijan Office head Arostun Orujlu and Konrad Adenauer Foundation Azerbaijan Office head Nuranla Jalil in establishing the organization.